In today's video, we're going to be talking about the archetype of the Puer Auternus. The Puer Auternus is Latin for eternal boy, and in mythology is a child god who is eternally young. For Carl Jung, the term is used to describe an older person whose emotional life has remained at an adolescent level, which is also known as Peter Pan syndrome. In Jung's conception, the Puer typically leads a provisional life due to the fear of being caught in a situation from which it might not be possible to escape. The Puer covets independence and freedom, opposes boundaries and limits, and tends to find restrictions intolerable. The Puer Auternus is an archetype of immature masculinity. Okay, so this is another reason why we name our lived worlds and we use our archetypes to do so. So I want to go back to our mind map that we've talked about before, that Yahweh is Abba Padre, God the Father. And what happens is a Puer Auternus will sit in God's seat and be a child God. And so when we think about God the Father created man and woman, Adam and Eve, and Adam and Eve said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. This then creates the archetype of la pareja, the pair. This creates a union, which then mirrors Daddy God. And from this union, you give birth to a family, a child, and children. And then a collective of families, as we talked about, creates community. So what happens is a child god, a Puer, he is not ready to land and touch earth and create union with usually women. Because what happens is they get so accustomed to living a provisional life and they're just not ready to land and touch earth. This is a function of consciousness within men. This is an archetype that you notice to be true about the concubinarios, about the rappers and the athletes. And all you have to do is challenge the Puer to then look at the story that you create for other men in your life. Look at the story that as a man you create for the women in your life. Look at the story and how you are creating family. Look at the story that Yahweh created for men and women. Look at the story that Yahweh created for mothers and their children.